Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. You're now tuned into Seconds Out. Don't worry about the other MMA shows. Pub Sports Radio. We the best out. You got MMA Locker Room right here. You got my co-host MMA Unhinged right there to the left of me. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. A great night, a great weekend of fights that we got up here. We got Bellator tomorrow night. That's a great card as well. 56. Figueiredo defended his belt 2 weeks and after 2 weeks. That's incredible. It's unheard of to someone to defend their belt after 2 weeks of just defending it. It's absolutely incredible. Hopefully, we say a good night of fights this weekend.
Yeah, man, that's definitely coming up right there. Before we get into that, man, let's do a little, I like to call it a little time chat and stamp right now. So right now, we're starting the show off a little bit earlier, I like to say this time around my time. We usually started off at 6 p.m. on my time, but now we're kicking it off at 5 p.m. my time. 5 p.m. my time, that is, out here in California. What about you, mate? What time is it and where you at?
It's at the moment it's just ticked over after 1 a.m. So I'm at the moment it's like just 10 past 1 a.m. at the moment. So how would you say that? Oh my god, I'm so bad with my time. But at the moment it's 1:11. Oh god,
1 a.m. Yeah. 1 a.m. in the morning. Definitely, it's loud and clear. Loud and clear on that, man. So real quick, man. We had a great show last week. We got to recap an interview with Sabina Mazo on Friday. So you guys could definitely check that out on the Pub Sports Radio YouTube page. Man, it was a good little interview. She has a fight up and coming in February. So you guys definitely want to check that interview out.
Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I was meant to be joining Millz on the show, but unfortunately that didn't work, and he had to do it by himself. But he handled it well, and he done it by himself, and he looked really good.
Thank you, man. Yeah, man. They had some technical difficulties backstage. It was weird. Sabina could only hear like one of us at the time, so had to roll on and do the show as it went. But definitely went well. Before we do that, though, man, let's give some shouts out to some of the people in the chat. Go through some of the first people that was in the chat and give them some love out there, Lenny.
So the first person in the chat was Rex Lee. Thank you for joining us today. The best MMA show on YouTube. Seconds Out. Don't worry about them other shows, as Millz says. Don't worry about them. Bloodthirsty MMA. He's been in the chat from the start. Thank you for joining. And we got someone with a rude word. Then the Bookies UFC. Thank you for joining us. And we got Johnny Cardone as well. Thank you for joining us. And I believe that's we got T-Boss 0311. Thank you for joining us as well. The best show on YouTube. Seconds Out. Don't worry about them other shows.
Yes, sir, man. So real quick, man. Last week, we had a hell of a card. COVID took some of the fights off and stuff, but the fight still went on. Starting with Jack Hermansson and Marvin Vettori, man. Let's go over some of the fights real quick, man, and see how they turned out. That fight to me, I definitely was on the other side of it. I had to play on Jack Hermansson. Marvin Vettori out there, he just put on a clinic on Jack Hermansson. Jack Hermansson let me down. I just didn't think that he fought the way that I thought that he would, when you're fighting somebody like Vettori on there. So with that, man, it was a one-sided fight on there. How'd you see it?
I think Vettori looked absolutely solid in that fight. He proved that he's a worthy contender. He puts himself right in up with the top 5 in the world. And I think he made history. I think he was the first Italian fighter to get in the top 5 in the rankings, if I'm correct. But he put on absolute clinic, as you said, they're beautifully correct. And his striking looked absolutely beautiful in the fight. And his takedown defense was the thing what most impressed me. Against a guy, Jack Hermansson, who's really good at wrestling, submission offense, submission defense. He's so good on the ground. And if you're defending takedowns from Jack Hermansson, you should be sorted in the future. You should be great. If you come up against wrestlers in the future, you should be fine. If you defended takedowns from Jack Hermansson, you should probably be takedowns from anyone else in the division. His takedown defense is probably one of the, I think it's, as they said on the broadcast, it's like one of the highest in the UFC middleweight division. It was absolutely incredible. He definitely showed it that night. And he put an absolute clinic on the feet, on even his takedown defense, as I mentioned before. He looked absolutely beautiful in that fight.
All right, so let's play matchmaker right here on Seconds Out. Give me 2 opponents that you want to see Marvin Vettori up against next.
It would either be a number 1 contender fight with Robert Whittaker or Darren Till.
How about Bora Archino, Paulo Acosta?
Ooh, that's a good fight. Yes, actually, I'll take away Darren Till, Paulo Costa, and Robert Whittaker, them 2 fights would probably I would put in for Vettori next.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I think he has like 2 more fights before he can maybe challenge for that number 1 spot, you know, and go for a rematch against Izzy. So yeah, that was the main event. Co-main event. We had Jamal Hill versus OSP, I believe, on the co-main event on there. And man, I got that one right on there. That was one of my plays. I got Jamal Hill at minus 175 on there, doubled up on him right before the fight started. A lot of people was kind of going with OSP. You know, they're thinking that, you know, the vet can outlast this rookie and everything like that. But I just didn't see it happening, man. After seeing OSP strikes, even though he did knock out Alonzo Menifield, he was just looking horrible in that fight when he was throwing strikes and everything. And the way Jamal Hill fights and uses his distance and everything, I felt pretty confident in that bet right there. Now, I mean, getting a name like OSP under your resume right now, that guy's looking nice right there. I'm trying to tell people, man, I think there's a new wave in UFC.
Yeah, his stock went up that night, and beating OSP just there, having it. Now he's under his resume, and he ended the rankings after that. He's now top 15 in the world at light heavyweight, and he looks as impressive as ever. On the feet, he looks dangerous. You know, he stopped him and punched it in round 2. As you said there, OSP just looks sloppy in this fight. You either get 1 or 2 ways in OSP. Either OSP comes to show, or he just doesn't perform at all, and unfortunately, OSP didn't perform that night.
Yeah, that was that for him right there. And then one of the other fights that I cleaned up on, but wasn't too high on, was Roman Dolidze. He definitely won that fight right there, but he didn't look too impressive, man. Yeah, split decision in there, and he didn't look that good to me in there, man. Like, I'll be honest, you know, seeing his striking and everything in there too, I was like, oh man, if he actually fights somebody with way better striking and a higher fight IQ, I might have to fade him. You know, I actually made money on him the last 2 fights, but man, just seeing the way that he strikes afterwards and he leaves himself susceptible to be countered, I didn't like it, but I cleaned up on that bet though.
Yeah, 100%. You put that perfectly. You know, for counters, but as you said there, he's just very sloppy with his strikes. As the fight goes on further and further, he gets more sloppy, if you know what I mean, and he just leaves himself open for strikes. As you said there, didn't really impress you. You know, the guy is very has a lot of potential, but I'd like to see him get the fight to the ground. That's where he really shines.
Yeah, so speaking of shining, man, who was one person that you think really shined on the past week on the card for you?
I think it has to be Jamal Hill. He looked absolutely impressive that night. Either Jamal Hill or Gabriel Benitez. He looked incredible that night as well. With that lethal knee up the middle to Justin James to the body. That just looked vicious. I could feel it when I was watching it. I could feel that knee in my body. I could just feel it. I just wanted to turtle up and just, it was vicious. And he looked good as ever. But yeah, I would say Jamal Hill, you know, he's really young, 9-0 now, actually 8-0 now in his pro MMA career, beating OSP, a veteran in the sport. You know, he's fought the who's who, and, you know, he's just going to go on and do better things now. Top 15 in the world. I'd like to see him take on someone up in the rankings.
Yeah, that's definitely one person, definitely shined. Definitely everybody's going to be looking out for him. I like to go with Ilia Topuria, man.
He looked. I just seen his name and I thought, yep.
He definitely looked impressive in there. Got the job done against a heavy underdog that a lot of people was high on too. Damon Jackson, I want to say. So I mean, he got the job done, no questions asked. Compared to going, I think he went 15 minutes with Yusuf Zalal and got rid of Jackson quicker than like fucking the Kardashians get rid of boyfriends and shit. So man, he definitely did that. One other guy. How can we not speak about the Monkey King? Bam! Picks him up.
Man, that was vicious.
From across the ring and just knocks him down and knocks him out cold. I mean, purposely though, he didn't try to do that. You know, his elbow just happened to be at the right place at the right time, connection, everything like that. And man, that was one of the most vicious slam knockdowns that I've ever seen in the UFC.
There had been a lot of controversy after that fight as well. A lot of people were saying, should the move get banned? Should the move be allowed in MMA? You know, the way he knocked him out was absolutely brutal. We saw it in this fight. And unfortunately, after that fight, Matt Wyman, unfortunately, did get released from the UFC. But, you know, it's probably time. You know, he's grown in age. I think he's like 38 now on 3-fight losing streak. But yeah, it was absolutely brutal. The way his arms went limp, it was just, it wasn't pleasant to see. And I hope he's okay. And it was actually a beautiful performance and a brilliantly perfect slam as well. You know, he knew what he was doing and he knew it was going to work, and he did it, and he capitalized on the slam, and he knocked him out unconscious, and he got the W.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, everybody thought Jordan Levitt was going to win by submission, you know, something like that. If anybody would have bet him by KO, you know, that would have been a big money maker right there. So going forward, definitely want to see who they match him up against, you know, in the future and everything like that. And then another fight that we had on there that I like that made me a lot of money. Who wants the smoke? Louis Smoker, man. He went out there and handled business on Quiznos out there, man. Made a sandwich out of him. Straight bologna. Swiss cheesed him, man. So, yes, man. Louis Smoker came in there, minus 130 favorite. Got all the way down to like a minus 115. You know, it was an easy decision at that mine. And not just that. I mean, the way that he did it, Quiznos, sorry to say, you're probably going to be under that roster of those 60 people that's going to be getting cut, you know, out of the UFC now. You know, 3 losses in the UFC. And just to be honest, if you're losing to Smoker, this ain't the route for you. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought in the first round, Jose Quinones looked decent. It looked in the fight. It was a competitive fight against Louis Smoker. But in the second round, as soon as Smoker got it to the ground, it was just a whole different ball game. You know, Louis Smoker on the ground is absolutely dangerous, and he proved how good he's on the ground. Took him down, finished him off with punches. I think he tried a few submission attempts, but he finished off with punches, and he just ended that fight. I think the first round was very competitive. And I thought Jose was getting the best of Smoker, and Smoker came out in the second round, rejuvenated, got the fight to the ground, and finished the fight.
Yeah, no, you hit it on point. I remember watching the fight live. Quiznos looked good in that first round, you know, and I said it live on the stream to where I'm like, hey, I got money on Smoker, but Quiznos looks good in that first round. And if he fights like this, you know, he might win this fight just because to where Quiznos is always fighting people with way higher competition. Now you're fighting somebody literally on the same level as you, so you should be able to shine. And he was. I gave him his props. I gave him his flowers, and then doesn't last that long. You know, they always show who they are. So he definitely did look good in that first round, though. I'll give him that, though. Give him that. But yeah, so I mean, I cleaned up on that. So yeah, just to give you some rundowns, my Bet Your Lunch Money segment, we cashed in over 3.5 units this week. It was a great night. Hit all 3 of my fighter picks. My underdog pick was the only one that I lost. I went 3 for 5 on my props, and I went 1 for 2 on my parlays. My biggest parlay that hit was the Roman and Tapora parlay. That was plus 125. Easy money, cashed in on that. So definitely, man, shout out to everybody out there that's making money with us here at Pub Sports Radio. And if you guys need a bookie or anything like that, need a website to use mybookie.ag. Use promo code Pub Sports Radio, and you'll get your match bonus right back at you. So yeah, man, that was UFC right there. So real quick, we're just gonna go over some of the news, give you guys a rundown on the show. Real quick, Lenny, tell them what we got in store for them today on the show.
We're going to go through the Bellator. You know, we're going to give us we're going to go through the few Bellator fights that we have this week, tomorrow night actually, and we're going to talk about the UFC 256. I do believe this weekend we've got a Figueiredo versus Moreno. Great card ahead of us this weekend. We've got Tony versus Oliveira. In my opinion, that's the best fight on the card, and I can't wait to see that fight. And we're going to go through some news about talk about Bellator. There's been huge news about Bellator. You know, a big, huge name fighter going over to Bellator. We'll talk about that in the show. And I'll let Millz talk about what's going to go on next. Oh, he muted.
As you guys know right now, I mean, a lot of stuff is going on in the UFC and Bellator news. You know, people coming, people going, stuff like that. Womp, womp. Who would have thought? Well, bye-bye. Say bye-bye to the guy that we all love, for all the things that he says on the microphone, all the crazy thing that he does. Yoel Romero is no longer with the UFC. He's gone. Lenny, mate, how do you think Yoel Romero is going to do now, not in the UFC?
It's interesting because Bellator, PFL have all came out and said they're not interested in the Yoel Romero, a guy who's 44 years of age. 3 of his last 5 fights have been a UFC title fight. It's crazy. This man has been competing with the best, the world's best at his age at 44. It's crazy. If I was a promoter, I would definitely want to get this man. You know, he's 44 years old. He might be not on the pretty side of the age, but this guy's still got it. He's 44. He can still beat one of the world's best. You know, the Izzy fight, a lot of people thought that he could have won that fight, you know. It was just a very, very a weird when it came out, I was very surprised that they let Yoel Romero go. But, you know, it didn't make sense because, you know, he's 44, lost in 3 of his last 5. He's going to move on. I think he's believed to go maybe 1 championship. I think that's the most interested into him.
1 championship. Oh, man. I'll tell you. I don't know about that, man, because to compete in 1 championship, I think you got to move out there and live out there for like a year before you can actually, like, you know, compete and stuff like that. But oh man, if he goes to 1 championship, I'm so surprised that Bellator already came out and said no. To me, that's the star that they've been wanting. You know, they sign all those old UFC 40-year-old fighters and stuff, you know, who go out there and do nothing. Roy Nelson and the list goes on. But Yoel Romero to me was perfect for Bellator, and man, it would have been so interesting to see him. But hey, don't gotta worry about that. We got a new signing, and he's not coming to the UFC. He's making a return, but it's the Bellator, folks. UFC said, "Hey, Rumble, we don't even want you here, man. Just go ahead and go down to Bellator." So Bellator signed Rumble Johnson to a 4-fight contract. He's going to be competing at light heavyweight out there. How is that going to shape up for the light heavyweight division in Bellator, Lenny?
I think this is a massive mistake on the UFC part because, like, Anthony Rumble Johnson is probably one of the best light heavyweights that we have out there in the MMA right now. We got the only people he really lost to in the light heavyweight division was Daniel Cormier and John Jones, and them 2 people are not even in the light heavyweight division no more. You know, this guy's knocked out the #1 contender who's should be fighting for the fight at a title fight next anyway. He knocked out Glover Teixeira in like 13 seconds, I believe. The guy is insane power in his hands, and Bellator have really snatched up a really good fighter on their hands, and I think he's just going to go over there and do real damage in the light heavyweight division in Bellator. Corey Anderson went over to Bellator for a break from the UFC fighters, and he gets followed by Anthony Rumble Johnson, a guy who's just, his power is unreal, and unfortunately, you know, I feel like they were going to get a fight between Corey Anderson, Anthony Rumble Johnson, maybe for the belt after Corey Anderson maybe fights for Vadim Nemkov. That would be a really good fight.
Man, think about it, Chad. I mean, yeah, the light heavyweight division, you know, would have been, you know, opening up right now. You know, John Jones ain't in there no more, you know, and everybody that you thought was elite pretty much ain't elite now no more. You know, the belt is no DC. The belt is held by Jan Blachowicz. You know, no disrespect or anything like that, but come on now. Jan Blachowicz is holding the belt right now. So, I mean, the light heavyweight on Bellator, though, shaping up a little bit.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. The light heavyweight division over at Bellator is really growing a bit. We got Ryan Bader, Vadim Nemkov, we got Corey Anderson, Phil Davies, and now we got Anthony Rumble Johnson. They've got a really good, solid fighters over there. And yeah, I just can't wait to see him mix up. I think Vadim and Nemkov is an absolute beast, a protege of Fedor. And we're going to see him a fight between Anthony Rumble Johnson and Vadim Nemkov would be insane.
Got it. Not just that, man. We're not just UFC and Bellator buys here. We love 1 championship too. So go ahead, Lenny. Tell them about this. The GOAT is back.
You said it. I couldn't have said it better myself. The GOAT is back. Mighty Mouse is back to not defend. He's going down to get another belt. You know, he won the 135-pound tournament over there and won championship. He got the belt, and now we're going down to his original weight class, 125 pounds, to get another belt. He could be a double champ already in 1 championship. The guy's unreal. I don't know too much about his opponent, but Demetrius Johnson, he's the GOAT. Everyone knows who he is. Defended his belt. I think it was something silly like 12 times. Incredible. And I can't wait to see him put on another performance.
Yep. And then not just that. So we'll go over some of the fights that got announced, you know, over the week that you guys probably might not be aware of. I'll let you go ahead and introduce this one. Before you introduce Murphy, will you introduce him the right way so I don't have to press the rewind button if you follow me?
Oh no, you put me on the spot. How would I introduce him?
Okay. Go ahead. Just go ahead. Go ahead. Talk. Go ahead. Introduce this fight. Just talk about it for a second.
Well, Lerone Murphy, one of the best prospects coming out of England right now that we have. You know, he just recently beat Davi Ramos, or was it Ricardo Ramos? I mean, recently he looked absolutely incredible. A lot of people thought that he wouldn't stop him, and he stopped him on the ground. You know, he took him to the ground. I think he got the takedown against Ricardo Ramos and then finished him. That was one of the most surprising moments of that fight. You know, he's one of the best prospects that we have coming out of England right now, and I'm so excited for his future. But beyond, he's no joke. You know, he's a really good fighter, and he's going to pose some threats to Lerone. It's going to be a good, you know, step up in competition for him. And hopefully he comes right in flying colors.
No, you did him justice. He was one of your own. That's why, you know, I wanted to see how you take care of one of your own. Not just that. Have you talked to him before? You got an interview with him or something?
Yeah, I've talked to him before. He's on the back behind me. Wait, he's that way. Wait, no, wait. Oh, I don't know which way he is. I can't. Wait, that way. He's that one. You won't be able to see it. If you go in full screen, you will see it.
Got it. That was it. You know, just wanted to flex a little on that. Hey, guess what, guys? Figueiredo is back, but we're talking about we're talking about his brother, Francisco Figueiredo versus Jerome Rivera, set for UFC January 20th. So. Shit, did we all know that Figueiredo had a brother that was fighting in the UFC or coming up?
Oh, I had no clue. Until he signed with the UFC, I didn't even know Figueiredo had a brother. And he looks exactly like him. It's absolutely scary. And this is the first time Figueiredo, his brother I'm talking about, is competed at 125 pounds. He normally competes at bantamweight, and it'll be his first time going down to 125 pounds. And Jerome Rivera was meant to fight Ode Osman, I think it was, yeah. And that fight just disappeared. Yeah, it just disappeared, and then Figueiredo is now fighting Jerome Rivera January 20th.
Now we got it. We got the legend, the legend, the legendary foot maker, the legendary footwork guy is back. Dominique Cruz is coming back, man. Versus Casey Kenny, March 6th. This one right here. This one's gonna be a good one, man. I gotta go with my boy Casey Kenny on this, man. He's been my money maker the last 3 fights on there. Not just that, I like everything about his volume too. And Dominique Cruz, to me, I think he's a little bit just past his time. I think everything that he was doing was good in the UFC about 3-4 years ago. Right now, it's a different type of game in there. I guarantee probably Casey Kenny's going to open up like a -220 favorite. That's going to be a 2-1 favorite on there. How do you guys in the chat see this fight taken out in here? And it's going to be the retirement fight for Cruz. How do you see it, Lenny?
I think this is a must-win for Dominic Cruz. I really think if he wins this one, he can, you know, he put himself back up there in division. But if he loses, we could probably see him, you know, not returning back to the UFC, not fighting ever again. I think this is a really a must-win situation for Cruz. You know, he's not, you know, I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Cody Garbrandt, then lost to Henry Cejudo, got finished. You know, didn't really turn up against Henry Cejudo. Got finished ground and pound, and then blamed it on the ref. We all know the situation, what he blamed on the ref. You know, the alcohol and cigarette situation. It just didn't look good for Cruz. You know, he really needs to go into this fight, make a statement, and just so everyone can forget about his last fight and his performance. And he really needs to win this one. It's a must-win, in my opinion, for Cruz.
Yeah, man. Hey, Lenny, let's see what the people in the chat say real quick. All right, so they say, yeah, they got Dom. They said Bloodthirsty MMA says Dom will school him. All right. You got Neil the security. You always need security in the chat. He says, this move by Cruz got me scratching my head. You got Johnny Cardone. Shout out to Johnny Cardone out there. He's saying Kenny all day against this old man. Yeah, man, that's how I see it, man. That's exactly how I see that fight playing out right there. I think Casey Kenny's going to put that volume on there right there. Dominique Cruz is going to tire himself out there trying to do the Macarena with his footwork and shit. Ain't going to be enough to get the job done, man. So I definitely going to be going with Casey Kenny when that fight plays out. Can't wait for that. Not just that. This is the fight of 2021 right here. We cover it all, man. What is happening right now? Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. And this is real. February 20th, man.
This is ridiculous, and this just shows what way boxing are going at the moment. They're scared. The UFC are catching them up, man. The UFC are really putting on some good fights, and this is what we're getting from boxing. Floyd Mayweather, one of the best boxers to ever, probably the best boxer to ever grace the earth of boxing ring, is fighting a YouTuber, a guy that outweighs him by 30, 20 pounds. Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul weighed in against KSI at 199 pounds. I think Floyd Mayweather fights about 154, if I'm correct. 150. It's ridiculous. I don't know why this fight's going ahead, but they're going to make tons of money, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be definitely gonna be a moneymaker fight, but god damn, I don't even know, man, how it's gonna play out. Like, I mean, Mayweather let McGregor box with him for about 6 or 7 rounds, so I mean, he's definitely gonna let Logan Paul go in there and stand with them for a couple of rounds, and then I don't think he's really gonna turn it up or anything like that. See,
the scary thing is, it's just the possibility of Logan Paul winning. That would break the internet. I don't think he can win. Obviously, I think Floyd Mayweather is definitely going to win. Floyd Mayweather is the greatest boxer that we've had in boxing. But Logan Paul, the size, and if you watch his fight against KSI, he's got a really good jab, to be fair to him. He's got a really good, stiff, accurate jab, but he just doesn't use that right hand a lot. He just sticks with that jab and he just moves around the octagon. And if you're doing that with Floyd Mayweather, he's going to see what you're doing. He's going to catch up with you. He's going to set a trap for you, and you're going to fall into that trap, and he's going to counter you sweet. And Logan Paul just needs to use that jab. You stick that jab, use the right hand. He didn't really use the right hand in his KSI fights. He just needs to let it go. His jab is perfect, though. His jab is really, really good. If you look at his fights, this stiff, sharp jab is incredible. That's his best weapon. He needs to utilize it.
Wait, mate, are you seriously giving boxing advice for Logan Paul to beat Mayweather, and you actually think it's a way in the pot? Oh my god!
No, I don't think it's possible. But if you watch his fights against KSI, his jab is really good.
Oh my god!
That's the only weapon he's got, though.
So that's his key to victory, right? Versus Mayweather. Work that jab, right? I got
He's got to work that jab. He doesn't really let that right hand go. He just sticks to his jab, doesn't let the right hand go, and just sticks to it. But he just needs to let that right hand go. Floyd Mayweather's going to slip and counter you. I think he's too heavy for Floyd. I think Floyd's going to see them punches from miles away, slip them, counter him to the body, counter him to the head. I think Mayweather's going to have fun in there, 100%.
Man, Boston Nick, man, Mayweather will embarrass him. So how much you gonna put on this fight then, Boston Nick? You gonna empty the bank account on him, man?
I think Logan Paul was a 5,000. I think it was a underdog, or is it a 1,500 plus underdog?
They already have odds out.
Yeah, they already have odds out. Mayweather was a 5,000 favorite.
Oh man, yeah, Mayweather's gonna do what he needs to, man. He's gonna knock him out in the 3rd, 4th round. He's gonna let the people, get what they want for a little bit. But when it's all said and done, there's no way he's gonna let this guy walk out the ring without hitting the floor, and being there's no way.
He did it to tension over in Japan. He knocked him out. Yeah. Whether that fight was a fixed or a fluke, whatever you call it, he still knocked him out.
Still knocked him out. Because why? Because I'm trying to tell you, the money and everything that he has, it's something to damage his rep. If he goes in there with an average MMA fighter and doesn't knock him out, people's going to be talking shit about him. Bro, you couldn't even knock out this or that. Same thing's going to be right here with Logan Paul. So that's what I'm saying on this one. He's not going to be able to go home, to go around the block, to go around the homies, to get in the group conversations without them saying, for real, you let this dude go 7 or 8 rounds with you. So yeah, Mayweather's definitely going to get him out of there in one of those rounds. That's for sure, man, if anything.
And it's an exhibition, so there's actually no winner for this fight.
See, and that's why I'm thinking to where he's gonna, it's supposed to be no knockout, we're gonna pay, we're gonna agree to this backstage. Backstage is backstage, man. Once you're out there, and like I said, it gets to that 5th or 6th round, and you got about 9 minutes left, and you're like, for real, I'm about to end this and let the exhibition go like they just did Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. That's not gonna happen with Mayweather, man. I definitely see Mayweather getting a slick knockout real quick on him, man. Speaking of knockouts, knockouts and real quick. I mean, you got some real quick cuts being cut off in the UFC. Just off top, man. Some of the names that ruffle my feathers a little bit that come to my mind. They let go of Rachel Ostovich. How could they do that, man? Gave her the quick cut.
It was deserved as well, you know. I think she was on a 3 or 2 fight loss streak, and even though she looked better than ever in her last fight, I think she looked really good. Her scrambles on the ground, you know, that really impressed me. You know, the way she got out some of their positions. I think one position, how she just climbed over the back, put them hooks in. That was incredible to watch. She looked good in the last fight, but unfortunately, she's on a loss streak, and you know it's deserved. She had to get cut.
That's one of them right there. Another one that got cut that I seen. We all knew this was coming, man. It was just a matter of time. I thought he was cut already. They cut Bumblebee, Mark De La Rosa. He's out of the UFC now. So I mean, jobless. Do you think? Do you see another organization picking him up, or do you see him even just going to like fighting locally and stuff? How do you see that playing out?
I think he's a flyweight, and a lot of promotions don't really go for flyweights. If he's going to get to a major promotion, he's probably looking at a one championship. They have a lot of little guys over there. You know, they do a lot of promoting to little. I don't even think their heavyweight division gets promoted as much as they're all about little fighters over in one championship. They're all about little Asian fighters, and it's incredible over there. I love what they do over there. They're insane in Asia. How big they are, and if Mark be huge, but if it's not one championship, I see someone like Brave fighting championship, or like a LFA or something like that.
Man, another one. I'm throwing it out there, man, and I've been saying this now ever since his last fight. But Mike Perry, he has to get those walking papers, man, just because of all everything that he leads up to with the UFC. It's just a bad look. You're not taking anything serious. You got your baby mama out there as your trainer and stuff, like, and just beyond that, so I'm not going to be surprised when you see Mike Perry's name getting cut from being cut. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. But the one thing that UFC look for is how many eyes you can bring to the table at fights, and how much money you can give to them. And unfortunately, Mike Perry does that. I think he's a character, and he's definitely a fan favorite. And if you see Mike Perry in the card, I regret to say it, but you're going to go watch him.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. I give Mike Perry that. He's an entertaining fighter, everything like that. He could definitely fight in any of these other divisions. I mean, any of these other organizations. I'll definitely give him that. But UFC quality-wise, no, man. Like, fight after fight, never improved on just one thing. Never just came in the game and showed you anything, evolving. And he's been in there for a while now. Not just that, it's a lot of fighters like that. So I mean, right now, shit, the way that Dana White signs everybody from the Contender Series and shit, man, he ain't got no room for these people no more. Especially when he knows why. It's a business. You can pay this young dude way less and get the same output. Probably a more entertaining fight, to where they're already telling them already, hey, go for the knockout, do this, do that, compared to fighters that you already got that's set on their certain ways, that's just trying to go out there and get the win. That's more, focused on that, So, yeah, man, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see, though. It's gonna be some names getting cut for real. I think it's gonna be some good names being cut.
Yeah, I just don't think he's dedicated enough. He came in 175.5 pounds. For the welterweight division, this guy's not even a big welterweight. You look at him; he's not even that big. If he comes up against someone like Kamaru Usman, the difference in size would be dramatic. It would be ridiculous. He would get absolutely ragdolled. It would be so funny. But as a Nick put in the chat, he should go to lightweight. If he's not making welterweight 100 pounds, I would dread to think what he would look like coming at lightweight. It would absolutely be. It would be death.
Yeah, man, definitely. Let's go through the chat real quick, man. So gonna keep this nice and brief for everybody out there on this Wednesday Second South show, man. You got Boston Nick up in there, Neil Security, smash everybody. Hamzat fan, you sounds like. Scroll up a little bit more. You got Billy Brispring, Bloodthirsty MMA. Everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. So yeah. We're going to move on now to the main card that we got, UFC 256 taking place. Just before we do that, though, I love doing this. let's pay a little bit of attention of what this card was supposed to be. Watch this. Watch when I go over these bouts that was supposed to be on this card that's not. Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson. Whatever. Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Damn, really missed that one. Carla Esparza versus Amanda Ribas. That was one was going to be good. Marvin Vettori versus Amar. Know what happened with that. Dwight Grant versus Jing Lang. Know what happened with that. Vettori versus Souza. Know what happened to that. Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. That was supposed to be on this card right here. Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. That fight's not on there. Tisha Torres versus Angela Hill. Took that one away. Carl Robinson versus Lulingabalila. That one got rescheduled to next week. Andrea Lee versus Jillian Roberts. My solely lock on Jillian Roberts at -165. That one not on there no more. Out of this, look at all those fights that fizzled out and got canceled, though. Out of all those, what's the one that you really would have wanted to see on this card?
I think it has to be Pete Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. That fight is just... I think about it, and that fight stylistically matchup. It would be absolutely incredible, and the beef behind them too. I just want to see that fight. I just want to see him settle it now, and I do feel like that's one of the best fights that we have in the bantamweight division at the moment. Pete Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. I just feel like that fight it excites me in every way, and not to the level of like I just want to see it. Basically, I just wish they were fighting, and unfortunately, Pete Yan had to withdraw. I think it was something to do with visas, if I'm correct, or something like that. But hopefully we get that fight soon, and we see Pete Yan versus Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah, man, that was one I really wanted to see play out, man. Really wanted to see that one heavy, especially the Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns, man. I mean, shit, that's the main one. To me, I think it went like this. I think once like the main headliners pulled off the card, everybody else who was a headliner pulled off the card. Nunes was like, "Oh, get me off this card." Like, you know, that's I think that's how it went a little bit. Peter Yan, Aljamain, get me off this card. So I mean, last big card to go into the year, and you know, this is what we're stuck with. So it's all good. So we're gonna give you guys some of the picks and plays that we like, and some of the predictions that we're gonna go over right now. Starting with the first fight on here, you got Chase Hooper coming in, 9 wins, 1 loss, coming off a loss versus Alex Caceres. Pretty much got the beats break, got everything, the brakes beat off of him, man. What am I going with right now? The reason why it was so hard for me to get those words out is because, man, did I have Chase Hooper? Yes. Did I lose a lot of money? Yes. -135 was the price that he started off at, went all the way up to like a -220 on there. And whoa, did we get it wrong on him, man? He just got a clinic outran on him. Bruce Leroy just ran game on him from the beginning of the round all the way to the end. Chase Hooper is just like a walking zombie, just coming in, not doing anything, not even going for the takedown like how you want to see, not shooting for a single leg or anything like that, changing levels. So that's who we got. And guess what he opened up at? A -400 favorite. In the other corner, you got Peter Barrett coming in, 11 wins, 4 losses, coming in off a loss. Last time we seen him in the ring, it was against Yusuf Zalal, I believe. Yusuf Zalal looked like he should have got him knocked out in the first round. Peter Barrett did what he had to do, stuck around the whole 15 minutes in there with Yusuf Zalal in that fight. I mean, real durable fighter, you know, not the most technical striker or anything like that. But I mean, when it's all said and done, he's in the fight. So I mean, this fight right here, a lot of people is going with Chase Hooper. Me, I learned once on there, you're not gonna burn me again. So I mean, Peter Barrett, the price tag on him, you can get some money back, +310 underdog. So that means you put $100 down on him, you get $300 back. I don't know if I'm bold enough to do that, so I might just have a little bit of sprinkle on there, maybe like a little bit of coffee money on Peter Barrett, just because after seeing Chase Hooper's last fight against Alex Caceres, man, he's kind of became fade material. To where if that's the only thing that you're going to do is try to go out there and submit a guy and not really shoot for the takedowns, and you're opening up a -400 favorite, did I see something wrong that I didn't? Lenny, I don't got my glasses on, but you do. Go ahead. Maybe you see something in this that I didn't see.
Yeah, as you said there, it was perfectly. You put it. It's like a walking zombie. He took so many shots in that fight. Alex Caceres, he was clinical in that fight. Landed his shots perfectly, and I think it was just too much of a step up in competition for Chase Hooper. I think they gave him that one really early. He's only 21. I think he's the youngest fighter that we have on the UFC roster at the moment, I believe. Yeah, I think that is correct. I think he is the youngest fighter that we have on the UFC roster. I think they just pushed him way too early. No, not every fighter is a John Jones, and a guy like Aaron in this sport, he dismantled him in that fight. Took a lot of shots, and in this fight, as you said there, I see him bouncing back. I see like he learns from his mistakes. His fight was 6 months ago. I feel like he's gone away, worked a bit on his striking, just sharpen it up a little bit. But I think in this fight, he's going to take him straight to the ground and submit him.
Got it. I like the way you're thinking. All right, so give me a round prediction.
Ooh, I say round 3.
Round 3. Okay. I mean, shit, if Chase Hooper has been studying or learning anything, I mean, a lot of people like him, because he's out there with Ben Askren doing those little viral clips and stuff like that. The guy eats Skittles and shit like that. I was all on the train, but what the fuck, man? Them Skittles ain't giving you superpower, my dude. You ain't beast mode Marshawn Lynch with this. So, you might need to switch it up to some M&Ms, listen to the Bet Your Lunch Money segment. Them Skittles you springing might need to turn to some M&Ms, But yeah, man, this fight not gonna spend too much time on it at all. I don't suggest you guys do either. To me, this is the heaviest favorite on the card, and this to me is like a wash. To where if you're gonna do anything, it's dog or pass. So I'm probably gonna pass on it, just depending on how the fights look that night. I might, like I said, just put a little bit of sprinkle money on Peter Barrett because not too impressed with Hooper after that last fight. So this next fight that we got, this one's going to be taking place at heavyweight. This one's going to be a good one, though, man. You got Sergey Spivak versus Jared Vanderera. Sergey Spivak coming in 11 wins, 2 losses. Coming off of his last win over Philippe, I want to say. Then before that, he had a loss, I want to say. I think it was to Bora, if I'm correct. Yep. Okay, cool. Yep. All right. So, I mean, Sergey Spivak opens up on the book at a minus 230 favor right here. That line, kind of agree with it. Yeah, I say 210, in my books. I kind of like what everything Sergey Spivak brings to the table. He's young in the game, too. Only 25. Looks like he's evolving. Seen him in his first fight against Walt Harrison. I think he got just like laid out. Then he comes back in his second fight, gets a win. Then, the list goes on. But the thing that I'm saying with Spivak is he's not a one-trick pony. He's not just one guy that can win one way. So I kind of like what I see at him. Jared Vanderera, on the other hand, I mean, you guys might not be familiar with him, but we just seen him about 2 months ago. He was coming from the Contender Series, and he wasn't shy at all. Right when he got that win, he grabbed the mic and said, hey, give me this and that. I think he even called out Sergey Spivak after he won on the Contender Series. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Yeah, all right. I thought it was. Yeah, literally in this game, sometimes you get what you ask for. And Dana White was right there. He was like, "Oh, you want Spivak?" Oh, he was like, "Yeah, Spivak could probably get another easy win off. Come on in, bring him in." So I mean, shit. He's getting the opponent that he asked for right now. So I really think it's a step up in competition when it comes down to it. Vanderera, he was in there with the guy. I think it went the whole 15 minutes. Wasn't able to get him out, I believe, in there. He hasn't fought anybody with competition like Sergey Spivak before. So I definitely don't think that he has enough tools to get it done. I think Spivak can get it done by just taking him down to the ground on there. So I do got a little bit of money on boy Spivak and a few parlays in there. Look for him to get the job done on here. And yeah, man, Vanderera, shit, you get what you asked for. And you asked for Spivak, now you got it.
100%, I agree with that. I think Spivak in his short UFC career, he's fought some really good killers. Walt Harris, Taito Avasa, Marcin Tybura, Carlos Felipe. Carlos Felipe was a bit of a let off for him. They gave a bit of a, compared to his other fights, they gave Marcin Tybura, Taito Avasa, Walt Harris. Them 3 right there, an absolute killers. And he got a win against Taito Avasa. Unfortunately, Harris and Tybura. And I feel like he's going to win this fight. I think he's going to take the fight to the ground and submit him very early.
Yeah, I definitely like that. So when the props come out on there, one prop I would like to go with, I would like to go with fight not going the distance. I don't know what where it's at right now on the books, but that's one prop I'm definitely looking to play. And shout out to Young Bula out there. Where can you catch a Bet Your Lunch Money segment? You can catch it on Pub Sports Radio on their YouTube. Just go ahead and scroll down there. I put them out every Friday. So they come out usually every Friday. And then after that, you can check them on my Instagram page on Saturday, the day of. That's MMA Locker Room. Yeah, it's been a successful year. I will say that. I Bet Your Lunch Money segments. I give you guys all different type of ways to win. I give you guys fighter picks. I give you guys underdogs. I give you guys props. It's not your average props out there. I will say that. So these props that I come up with kind of unique and, doing kind of good on them. My parlays too. I give you guys usually 2 parlays. Now I'm giving you guys 3, because sometimes, you guys might not agree with some of my underdog picks. So I like to give everybody a different option to play. You don't got to play what I play. So yeah, man, shout out to everybody out there that's been rocking with on the Bet Your Lunch Money segments, man. All right, so this next fight coming up on the card. Who do we got coming up on the card, Lenny?
Torres versus Sam Hughes.
What fight was it supposed to be?
It was meant to be Tisha Torres versus Angela Hill. That fight was more aesthetically pleasing to me. Tisha Torres was on a 4-fight losing streak before coming back against Brina van der Bruin. But I just feel like she's a very hit or miss fighter. I feel like she either turns up or she doesn't. To them fighters that she lost 4 back-to-back to, Jessica Andrade, Joanna Jacek, Weili Zhang, Marina Rodriguez, 4 of the top girls in the division, and then she came back against Brianna Van Bruin. But I just feel like she'll have too much experience for Sam Hughes in this fight, and I would never finish in a women's fight if I'm a better. I would never. I don't. You don't see him that often. I would always bet on a decision. I don't know why. Every time I look at my predictions, I see which fight who's gonna win this fight, who's going to outpoint them, who's going to take it to the ground, who's going to wrestle them. I just don't see a lot of women finishes the decision win.
Yeah, see, Lenny, you hit it right on the head. And you're not a gambler or anything like that, but so they got a stat out there. I think it's like 70% of the women's fights always go to the distance of the decision. So, on that, a lot of people always like to bet, fight to go the distance on there. So, but this fight right here, it's coming on a few days' notice. So, I definitely don't know how this is going to play out. Haven't seen too much of Sam Hughes. I do know that she's coming from LFA. I'm high on that organization. Seen so many fighters come from there. Just within this year, you guys should look it up. Literally, I think it's like over 30-something fighters just came to the UFC that just fought in the LFA this year. Real good organization out here. They fight everywhere too, locally. But yeah, so on this one, Tisha Torres, definitely I think is going to be the play here. So I don't even know no props on it yet because, like I said, it just came out of nowhere. I would probably stay away from this fight right here. Unless I can find some little bit more tape on her opponent, Sam Hughes, and feel, comfortable in it. But I will say this, I faded Tisha Torres her last fight against, I forget her name, the little short wrestling
Brianna Van Buren.
Brianna Van Buren that everybody's like, oh, DC was hype on. She's the next this and that. Okay, cool. But I faded Tisha Torres, and I'll say that Tisha Torres in that fight was the Tisha Torres that we've seen from Ultimate Fighter that we all liked, where it's like, ooh, if she fights like that, she'll be vicious. What she reminds me of is a miniature Jessica Andrade. Body type, the way she fights sometimes too, she can mix it up with those hooks, a little Tasmanian devil right there. So, yeah. So if you guys want to play anything, Neil Security is going to go with Tisha by decision. I guess that's the play right there. But yeah, that would be the play just because, all of her fights usually go decision anyway on there. So, probably be a little high, probably be like minus 190, 180. But still, when it comes out, that might be the proper play to go with. So that's the only time we're even going to spin on that fight here. Cause me, I like women's MMA and stuff, but don't know too much to really explore it. I do know this though. You do got a little bit of height difference, So Sam Hughes comes in 5'5", Tisha Torres only 5'1", but that's really nothing to deal with because, I mean, goddamn, Tecia Torres been dealing with that her whole life. And, you know, she's fighting out of American Top Team, so that's a way better camp than Sam Hughes over here fighting out of Catalyst MMA. Haven't heard too much about them, so, you know, she might just be the goddamn next Catalyst in the fucking MMA game.
You said there that a lot of her fights go decision. Her last 6 fights, Tecia Torres, have gone to decision, and they've all been unanimous. So bet on a unanimous decision. That's most likely going to happen.
Yeah, definite. So, man, hey, shout out. Let's go over something real quick before we do that. We got 31 people in the live chat right now rocking with us on this Wednesday night, man. Go ahead, Lenny. Let them know a little bit about Seconds Out and what we do here and what we've been doing now for the last episodes.
Seconds Out, the best MMA show on YouTube. Don't worry about them other shows. You're Seconds Out. You're meant to be here 5 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm correct, every Wednesday. And we're going to be here giving you the exclusive news, exclusive interviews next week. I don't know whether I can announce it. I'll let Millz announce it after I finish. But we got exclusive news, exclusive interviews. We talk about the bets and the props and the picks, all that stuff. And we just talk about the breakdowns. We break down the fights, who most likely is to win, and who would bet for.
There we go. All right, so I mean, let's move on down the card, man. These are all fights happening on the early prelims. So when you got UFC pay-per-view events, you got the early prelims, you got the prelims, then you got the main card. This to me is a fight that should be headlining the fucking prelims, you know, on there. I think this is gonna be a banger fight right here. Billy Quarantino coming in versus Galvin Tucker. Billy Q coming in 15 wins, 2 losses. On a winning streak right now. Last 2 times that we seen him in the UFC, if I recall right, has a win over Spike Carlisle. Then he has a win over Colin Nelson as well. That Spike Carlisle win now, you know, definitely doesn't look too good, you know, the way that he's looking in the UFC. But I mean, beat up Colin.
And I love Spike Carlisle as well. He's such a character. And I sent you his laugh. Did you see that? That was his laugh is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a Spike Carlisle fan. I have money in him against Billy Q, you know. Shit, he had like 7 takedowns in that fight and everything. You know, if he could have just did something with him in ground and pound, he would have won the fight, you know, looking back at it and stuff. But I will say this. I still think that Spike won that fight, though, you know. Could be biased just because I had money on it, but I still think he won that fight, man. But, I mean, shit, it moves on down the card, man. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a banger, man. Billy Q's coming in right now. Slight favorite, opened up on the books at a -130 right now. Didn't stay that low. He's at a -160. Money's been coming in on him. He's taking on Galvin Tucker. Galvin Tucker's no stranger to the UFC, folks. Canadian background fighter, comes in 12 wins, 1 loss. Back-to-back wins in the UFC, so he's feeling good off that. Last time we remember seeing him, I remember he beat Justin James, I want to say. Then had a choke on Seung-Woo Cho or something like that, I want to say.
Yeah. Seung-Woo Cho.
There we go. See, all right, cool. Connecting the dots. So I mean, both of these fighters right now, you know, it's gonna be an explosive fight. I got Billy Q in this fight. I like his output. I like his cardio. I like his value. I like everything that he tries to do. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna give you, if it's the 15-minute fight, he's gonna fight for 13 minutes and 48 seconds. Folks, that's a lot longer than a lot of these bums, man. If it's a 15-minute fight, a lot of these guys going to fight for 7 minutes, keep you up against the ring for the rest of the 5 minutes, breathe for the rest of the 5 minutes, lay down on you for the rest of the 4 minutes, you know. So that's not Billy Q in there, man. He's going to definitely let you know he's here to fight. So I got a little play on him, got him when he came out. Even money, -115. Feeling real good about that right now. Galvin Tucker, you know, he looked good against Justin James. I will say this, Boston Nick was the only one that did have money on Tucker and did win on that pick. Shout out to him for that play and everything. But right now, I think Tucker is outmatched a little bit when it comes to it. We all remember Tucker. I think he got his ass beat by Rick Glenn or some shit like that. Wasn't a beautiful sight. Took a year off or so. Comes back to the UFC. Revamps some tools, everything like that. But one thing you can't revamp is that chin. So right now, I'm feeling good about my pick, Billy Q. So while you talk about that, this is Instagram scroll worthy. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll my Instagram feed, and hopefully I like what I see out of Billy Q. So go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the cardio and the output from Billy Q is definitely like that we're gonna see in this fight. I think Billy Q would just take it to. I think it's going to go decision, but I just feel like I see Billy Q just piecing him up. In his last fight, Gavin Tucker, he had a good fight against Justin James, but it was a war. Both men were still in that fight for 15 minutes until he got that submission to the ground. But I think Billy Q will be outmatched, as you said there perfectly. Just will outmatch Gavin Tucker in this fight, and I see him I see it going to the third round and put him away late, and Gavin Tucker would just get finished, and will not be able to handle the pressure from Billy Q, the volume. That just the volume of Billy Q, I just see him, being too much for Gavin Tucker in this fight.
Yeah, so I mean, let's see this. So we're on Billy Q's Instagram right now. And one thing here on Seconds Out, we give you guys a different look at it, give you guys actually what they're doing on the personal life, the Instagram and stuff like that. And one thing that I look for is to see who's he in the gym with, what's he doing, is he posting just random pictures, or is he getting it in? So let's scroll through and see, So, okay. So for me, it looks like, all his pictures so far is, reminiscing on a win and, stuff like that. And look at what I did versus Kyle Nelson right here. Okay. See one picture in the gym. Looks like they're behind some cardio equipment. All right. Not bad. Okay. Getting some outdoor workout. Okay. Okay. But see, posting pictures of look at me doing this and that, okay. All right, there we go. One picture of pads. All right. Come on, Billy. Give me something, man. Out of the last 20 pictures, bro. Give me like one video of you doing something in the gym, hitting the pads. Come on, Billy Q. God damn, man. Damn, man. I went through 25, man. Fuck that, man. All right, Billy Q, man. Yeah, the play's Billy Q, but you let me down, man, on your Instagram, man. You definitely not doing nothing that I wanted to see on there, man. So let's flip the coin here, because I ain't biased, Tucker's pretty nice, Let's see what Tucker's up to, Let's see what Tucker is up to. Now, Tucker comes over here just beasting with, oh, shit. Look at the first three pictures. What do we see? What do we see in the first three pictures? Lenny, what do we see, bro?
We see gym pictures. We see him working out.
Ooh, red flag, bro. Red flag. Look at the one championship Muay Thai kicks he's doing. Come on, man.
One championship Muay Thai kicks. I love that. That was good.
Come on, man. Look at that, man. All
I
right,
don't
that's
like how
one.
his left hand's out though.
All right, there we go. Cool. We don't like that. Yeah, we don't. Yeah. All right, but that's one. All right, cool. He got one. That's one out of his first three videos working out. Let's see. Okay, posting up some. Whoa. Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's see. Oh, he's traveling. Okay, I see. Oh, he's with the champ, Teofimo Lopez. Shout out. Okay, you getting working with Teofimo? Nah, it's probably an old picture though.
Exactly. Neil the Security put it perfectly there. That the pads don't hit back. Everyone can look good on the pads, but I just didn't like the way he was kicking the pads, and his left hand wasn't really going back to his chin.
Okay, so I mean, he likes his cat. I noticed that. Got a lot of pictures with the cat. So let's see. All right, got another workout video. So far, I got like 2 or 3 workout videos out of his 13. Oh yeah, he likes his cat. He's eating with his cat. Dang, bro, that's what's up.
He's getting that 50,000 bonus for his cat.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In the ring a little. Okay. Yes. Oh wow, he is stroking his cat. Wow. All right. Never mind. See, I don't feel that bad now about Billy Q, because this guy's just weird, man. All right. Shit. All right, cool. But yeah, I mean, okay, doing a little bit of work. But yeah, so enough about that. But yeah, I mean, looks like he was doing a few things in the gym, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely the play's Billy Q right there. The play's Billy Q. All right, so next on the card, who we got next on the card, Lenny, mate?
Is it? I believe it will be Mackenzie Dern versus. This is a difficult one. We're going to call her Werner in this case. Mackenzie Dern versus Werner in 115 pounds at strawweight. After losing her undefeated record against Amanda Ribas, bounced back with 2 wins. against Hannah Cyphers, you know, the woman who just likes to step in at short notice and take defeats, really, and against Randa Marcos, who's just, her record's not looking the greatest as of late. I'm not impressed with them 2 wins since bouncing back, but this is a really good test for Verna. You know, we're going to see if she's we're going to see Mackenzie Dern tested once again. You know, she beat Maloroni Martin in after bouncing back against Carla Esparza, and then our recent fight she beat Felice Herrig. You know, she's been beating a better competition, I believe, Mackenzie Dern, and she lost against Carla Esparza. She's been fighting some really good women, and I feel like this is a really close fight on paper. I don't know who to choose, but if I'm going to go to someone, I probably would most likely go to Mackenzie Dern and probably by submission.
There you go. There you go. I mean, so you got Mackenzie Dern, 9-1 record, opens up, coming in off 2 back-to-back wins in the UFC after having a kid. So she opens up the minus 185 favorite on there. Now she's at a minus 200 favorite on there. On the other corner, you got Verena Jandareva, 16 wins, 1 losses. A lot of those wins, who are they against? The one loss, though, we know who that is, Carla Esparza. So she opened up on the book at a plus 155. Now she's all the way up to a plus 165, depending on your books out there that you guys got. Definitely, if you guys are looking for a book to use mybookie.ag. Use Puff Sports Radio for the promo code. Guarantee you get a match bonus when you spend $100 or more. All right, so, yeah, women's MMA, man. I'll be honest, this is a fight I like right here. This is a fight I like. Jandarova, seen her last time against Felice Herrig, made a lunch meat of her real quick. Wasn't even a question. But before that, lost to Carla Esparza, and I think has a win over Mallory Martin, I want to say, too. But she did her thing in Invicta. Her competition definitely is not on the hands of Mackenzie Dern. She's a one-side pony, Verena Jandarova. She doesn't get you to the ground and can't submit you. If she stands up on the toes with you, she's going to get lit up. She's a stiff fighter out there, man. Doesn't really move quick on her feet, you know, throws at her own pace. That's a slow pace with that being said. Mackenzie Dern, on the other hand, big fan of this girl right here. Been winning money with her my last 2 plays too. Yes, when it comes to jiu-jitsu, she was born in it. I mean, she was born in the game. So we all know she has that pedigree right there. But not just that. She's been training camps now and changing camps and working with people, working on her striking, getting better with it. That's what you want to see out of a young fighter like that. We all know the story. She came into the UFC, couldn't make weight, missed weight. Everybody was taking her as a joke. But all in those fights, she submitted everybody, got them out of there real quick. You know, that one loss against Amanda Ribas, I'm not taking it too far against her. We're talking about Amanda Ribas, you know, and she was coming off of that 1 year, you know, of the pregnancy and stuff like that. If they still fought now, would Amanda Ribas win? Probably so. But like I said, that's one loss. That's, you know, that's it. So I like everything I see out of her. She's fighting out of my city right now. She's representing Long Beach, California. So had to get a little play on her before the money got too high. I got her at minus 175 on my book. Now she's all the way up to a minus 200 on here. So I definitely like this fight. I think Mackenzie Dern is going to win by decision. So if you guys don't want to lay that chalk right there, you guys can definitely play her inside decision. I don't know where that is right now in the books, but I think this is Mackenzie Dern's fight all the way, man. If she stands up on the feet with her, I can see her piecing her up, Verena, real good too. And when it comes down to the mat and the jiu-jitsu, man, Mackenzie Dern is on a different level than Verena, I believe, in my page. So the pick right now is Mackenzie Dern. The value, yes, you know, Verena maybe can get a sub. I will say this. All right, Mackenzie Dern, she gets taken down a lot. All right, I'm not just going to give you all the good. I'm going to give you the bad too. She gets taken down a lot. But with that, she gets taken down a lot probably because she's like, all right, if I get taken down, I'm probably going to be better on the ground than this person, or I can maybe go for a submission or something. So I don't take that too much into red flag. I'm getting taken down. But she gets taken down, you know, she's going away and everything like that. So she gets taken down a lot. She's dangerous when she gets taken down. So I definitely think Dern is gonna. I definitely think Mackenzie Dern is gonna be able to get this fight one on there. What about you, Lenny?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just a background. I can hear me too, so that's why.
Damn, 2 secs. Let me fix it. 2 secs.
That's all good. But yeah, no, we're fixing that right now.
Mm-hmm. I might have to put some other ones on.
Oh, yeah, he had some little headphones.
Oh damn, we're in trouble.
Real quick, mute your mic.
Yep.
Just mute your mic.
Yep, 2 secs.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody in this play right here, though, let me know in the chat, man. How do you guys see this fight taking place? Is anybody on Jandiroba right here? Because I will say, the value on her does have a good plus money comeback on her, but there's only one way for her to win, and I'm not really gonna bet a fighter where it's only one way for him to win. Is anybody out there going against Mackenzie on this one, or you guys are just gonna pass on it all at a whole? And then let me see. I appreciate everybody out there rocking with us right now. Next fight on the card. Let's see who we got taking place. Next fight on the card is going to be... Ooh, this one's going to be a banger right here, folks. Okay. Yeah, so we got the SoCal gangster stepping back in the ring. Cub Swanson coming in 26 wins, 11 losses. Coming off of a win last time we seen him in the ring. I believe it was against the Gracie. I forget the first name, but it was against the Gracie guy that always goes for the submission. Looked good in that fight, kept him on his feet the whole time. Everything in there. He's opening up the underdog in there, though. Plus 130 on there. And he's facing Daniel Pineda in the other round. So Daniel Pineda comes in 27 wins, 13 losses. Last time we've seen him, he was coming in with the win too, against Herbert Burns, I want to say, in that one. A lot of people are saying, don't give Pineda too much win because Herbert Burns was coming off a horrible weight cut for that fight. I don't play that too much attention, man. They're all fighters and shit. Yeah, Herbert Burns did miss weight in that fight, but Pineda did what he did, had to get the win, and got the win in there, so he looked good in there. So I guess the books are going with him as the favorite. So right now he's at a slight favorite. He's minus 150 on the books right now. A lot of people out there got a lot of money on Pineda right here. I'll tell you this, man. You guys might want to be careful, man, on what you do on that fight right there, because I don't think Pineda has fought the level of competition that Cub Swanson has. Another way that I see this fight taking place, keys to victory for Pineda, I think it's only going to be one way. And that's probably going to be, if you can get him down to the ground and sub him, everything like that. So it's gonna be weird to see how it takes place on there. But then on the other side, Cub Swanson coming off a long layoff, had a random injury, I think, in a grappling belt against Jake Shields, I want to say, really hurt his knee. So this is gonna be his first fight coming back after that injury right now. But I kind of like Cub Swanson in this fight. Lenny, who you like?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, still got something going on. You got
Oh dang.
Yeah.
Give me 2 secs.
There you go.
Hello.
You good?
Are we good?
You still got something. What? Yeah, you still got something. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you perfect now. There you go.
You good? All right. Well, we're back on track, boys. Cub Swanson, Daniel Pineda. That's where we're talking. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Two veterans going at it, as you said there. Con Gacy in his last fight 1 year and 1 month ago. Con Gacy wasn't ready for the step up. Cub Swanson is a veteran, and we saw him, just use his veteran tactics, get that win in the bag. And Daniel Pineda, since being in the UFC, he was in the UFC, then got cut, and returned back to the UFC in impressive fashion, beating Herbert Burns. A guy who has really good prospects in the 145-pound division, and he finished him with elbows in the crucifix position. It looked incredible. This is a fight which wouldn't surprise me if Daniel Pineda wins. A guy Cub Swanson, I think he's on the way out before being he snaps a 4-fight losing streak. I just feel like he's on his way out now. Right now, he's 37 years old. It really wouldn't surprise me if Daniel Pineda wins this fight.
Yeah, man, I agree. I agree in a sense. Cub Swanson is on his looks like he's on his way out of the UFC, everything like that. But I mean, when it's all said and done, I mean, we've seen Cub Swanson give us fight of the nights, against a few opponents. So I just think when it comes down to it, I think he has one more fight in him. I don't think Pineda can touch him on the feet, do anything dangerous to him. Same thing that Gracie kind of opposed to him. The only way that Gracie could have won, is if he got him to the ground and everything like that. So, bro, I agree. Cub is on his way, but out of the card, you know me, I always go with a few underdogs. I think this might be an underdog. I might be looking to play, man. Yeah, and okay. Let's see. A lot of people are paying this attention too. Pineda has finishes, all 100% finishes. I think out of 27 wins or 26 wins, all are by finish, I want to say. So he's definitely dangerous when it comes to that. So, I mean, maybe
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Out of 27 wins, yeah, all are finishes and shit. So he's not going to the decision, he's not going to the judges at all.
Ooh, wow, that's insane. 27 wins and 27 finishes. That's a record.
Yeah, that's the main card that's the main fight on the prelim. So if you were to give them two fights that you feel the most confident about winning on the prelims, who would it be?
Sergey Spivak, I think he goes out there and destroys that man, and it probably will be Billy Q.
Okay, not bad. Guarantee. So those are two favorites right there. That'll get you back plus 135 if you guys parlay both of them. Sergey Spivak and Billy Q come back plus 135 on the books. You heard it here, right here. That's MMA Unhinged parlay of the prelims for you guys.
Oh, actually, last week we did I got it written down on my phone.
Yes. So let's go over it real quick. Yes, the three fighters that you had on your parlay. Let's see if they cashed in and hit. I wanted to see.
It was the Jamal Hill win, Jack Manson win, and a Roman Deladze win, and I got 2 out of 3.
Yeah, see, so you didn't win, bruh. You didn't win. All parlay, all 3 got a hit. Yeah, Jack jacked you on that one, man. Jack got you on that one. Man, speaking of Jack, man, main card coming in right now. This guy, Junior Dos Santos, god damn, man, he's still fighting. 21 wins, 8 losses, coming off of 3 losses. Last time we seen him in there, I want to say he got his ass knocked out by Johan Rosenstruck. I want to say he was looking good in that fight. I will give him that, right?
Yeah, he was looking good in that fight. That fight was back and forth. Both of them took very heavy shots, and unfortunately, he did get hit by that. It was like a awkward overhand left hook from Rosenstrike that put him down eventually in round 2. Got finished, unfortunately. That's a 3-fight losing streak. I feel like this is also a must-win for JDS. If he loses, I wouldn't surprise me if he gets cut in them 65.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, I think he might even get cut, man. It's just one of those times right now with the UFC, man. So he's opening up a plus 335 underdog on there versus Ciryl Gane. This guy's no joke. 6-0 in the UFC. Minus 435, heavy favorite in there. He's explosive on his feet. Muay Thai fighter. Definitely not just that, he can win by submission. I believe he already has a heel hook in the UFC. I think he already has like 1 or 2 submissions in the UFC. So, I mean, big fan of this. Right now, are they rushing him? I don't know, man. This is a big step up in competition, but not that big because I think JDS is definitely on his way going out the UFC, not trying to learn anything new. He's fighting dumb nowadays, man. No fight IQ. So I definitely think Ciryl Gane's going to get this one done. One way you guys can play it instead of parlaying it, because that is a heavy favorite right there. You can go ahead and get Ciryl Gane inside the distance. Don't know what it is, but that's probably like one of the props that I'm going to be filling on my Bet Your Lunch Money segments. I'm going to check that a little bit later and see exactly if those props are out yet. So yeah, man, MMA Unhinged. This ain't even a fight spending too much time on, because I'm not even going to give Junior Dos Santos the day in the light right now. What about you?
Did you say Ciryl Gane? No, that's something Joshua. Look at him. He looks exactly like Anthony Joshua. It's
Damn,
scary.
you're right.
I see a lot
You're right.
of memes on it on Twitter. There's always a talk of people talking about it. Anyway, get on to the fight. This is a really good fight. I'm really high on Ciryl Gane, 6-0 in his UFC career. MMA Factory. I think he's training, sparring with Francis Ngannou, which is incredible. I believe Francis Ngannou is still at MMA Factory. But yeah, he's sparring with Francis Ngannou, and if you're sparring with Francis Ngannou, one of the best heavyweights in the world, you're getting ready for a fight against JDS as well. Francis Ngannou beat JDS. And I feel like this is a really good fight. It's a really good step up in competition for Ciryl Gane. And I think he takes it. I think he takes the decision. I think he outpoints him, picks him apart, and takes the fight to decision.
Got it. Yep. Nothing more to say, man. I definitely like that one too. Moving on down the card, we got this one taking place. This one's going to be interesting, man. Taking place at middleweight. You got Kevin Holland, man, back in the ring. 21 wins, 5 losses on a 4-fight winning streak in the UFC, trying to make it 5 fights in 1 year in the UFC. He's taking on a legend in his own. Ronald Jacare Souza coming in, 26 wins, 8 losses, back-to-back losses in the UFC. Last time we seen him around here. Real quick, Kevin Holland was supposed to be fighting somebody else. You know how that went. Vettori got switched out of there. Not just that, Kevin Holland had a fake COVID test like 2 weeks ago. It's weird how these two opponents got matched up. Souza had the COVID, like 2 months ago, I want to say, something like that. Now these guys are fighting. On the books, Kevin Holland opened up at a -170 favorite, I want to say. That got bet down all the way down to a -105 right now. Yes. Kevin Holland is down to a -105. A lot of people are going with Jacare Souza. Money's coming in on him. I believe by the time the fight starts, Jacare Souza will be the favorite and Kevin Holland will be the underdog. Oh, how the times change. I don't agree with it at all on here. Got to play on him already. Locked him up when he came out at -125. Got a little bit lower, played him at -110. Now I should have just waited because I could have got underdog money on him. So, I mean, Jacare Souza, on the other hand, legend in his own, but man, this guy is on his way out just like everybody else that we've been going over on this card. Cup, Swanson, and everybody in a sense. And to me, everybody say, oh, if he gets him to the ground, he could do the. I mean, you really think he's just gonna implement a game plan that he hasn't been doing in all these fights? You think he's really gonna try to take somebody to the ground? So I mean, I think Kevin Holland's just gonna use his speed. He's gonna use his accuracy. He's gonna use his fast movement and just piece him up on his feet and stay away from him. He already knows his ways to lose in this fight. Is if anywhere, if Jacare Souza gets him up against the cage and goes for a sweep and gets him on the ground. That's the end of the story right there. Kevin Holland's no fool when it comes to the ground anyway, but, you know, I think that's a whole different level to play with. So that's my little spill on here, man. I'm just surprised that a lot of people are really, the love's coming in for Jacare right here. So I'm not going to be too surprised to see the people in the chat jump on it now, but me, you can get Kevin Holland at a -110, 105. You got to do that right now. Man, Jacare Souza is on his way out to me.
I agree 100%. 2 fight losing streak at the moment for Jacare. You know, he's picking up his age as well. Lost against Jack Manson, now lost against a split decision versus Jan Blachowicz. That looks quite good, actually. A split decision loss versus Jan. You know, someone thought he won that. And but, you know, he's on his way out, you know, losing against Jack Manson, losing against Jan. And I feel like he uses against Kevin Holland. I think Kevin Holland is on a new wavelength at the moment. 4 fights in the 2024 wins. And I think he's going to make it 5.
Yeah, man. So real quick, man, people saying Jacare's been training with Platinum Perry. Oh, man, you know, you know what that is right there. Neil Security saying this is Holland's chance to sit out the big boy table. Hey, for real. It is. And that's the thing about him. Like, he's one of those guys to where he wants to be there with all those people. You know, not just that. He wants to knock one of them out just to be like, all right, that's how you're going to know my name. He's not one of them fighters that's going to shy away. He's going at it with everybody. You know, he can be that guy in sense at a lower level high school, you know, not competing with everybody, go to the main high school with everybody and go up to the main quarterback, you know, and be like, hey, I'm that dude. Even though you don't know who I am, you're going to know who I am and try to outplay him, you know. So Kevin Holland, man, he's all game when it comes down to it. Yes, he does play around a little bit when he gets in there in the ring, but I think it's going to be game time for him. And the funny thing about it is Vettori opened up against Souza -300 favorite, right? So you mean to tell me Marvin Vettori versus Jacare was a -3-1 to win. But Kevin Holland versus Jacare is an even fight. You know, like, okay, give me that Kevin Holland money right here, man. I'm going to keep the money coming in, keep it on moving on the card, man. And the only thing that worries me is this. With everything going on with the COVID and everything, I know Kevin Holland hasn't been around his regular camps and everything and been training. But, you know, at these stages in career, we know fucking Jacare Souza's not doing anything in training with his camp or doing anything like that new anytime, you know. So he's one of those fighters too. Look for him to be on his way out, you know, go team up with the Bellator camp or something like that. I don't think he's gonna have too many more fights in the UFC. So, man, moving on down the card, man. Moving on down the card. It's a fight. I like this one a lot, man, when it got announced, man. Renato Moicano comes in 14 wins, 3 losses, coming in off of a win last time that we seen him. He's opening up the underdog, though, plus 135 on there. He's facing Rafael Fiziev. He's opening up the minus 160 favorite. That's where he's at right now. When he opened up on the books, though, he was only at a minus 130. So money's been definitely coming in on Fiziev. A lot of people know him as the Tiger Muay Thai striking coach, everything like that. Had a good fight last time he was out versus Mark DeCasey. Got the job done, I want to think. He lasted the whole 15 minutes. He was able to stuff his takedowns. Marciano, on the other hand, he's just coming to this division. He has a win over forget the name, Hazmat or Hazard or some shit.
Damir Hazmanovich, yeah.
Damir Hazmanovich. That shit was funny as hell. I remember that shit. After he beat him, the guy was like, man, why'd you tap so quick or some shit? I wanted to fight. And he was like, well, why'd you tap me out? Well, nigga, because I'm here to fight. You know,
why'd you submit me?
Yeah, why'd you submit me? He was like, I wanted to fight. And he was like, well, why'd you submit me so quick? Like, oh, well, why'd you tap so quick, bruh? But yeah, man, this is a fight, though. All right, real quick, this is a fight I've been split on. I'm still split on a little bit, man. I like Moicano in here, man, a little bit, man. I like his reach, everything like that. You know, he's a typical boxer, everything like that. Leaves his hands a little bit high and everything. Definitely deadly on the ground. When it comes to the striking, I believe Fiziev's going to have the upper hand in that. But I actually think for Moicano to be the underdog right here, this is a fight I'm going to be looking at really close to the weigh-ins and everything like that. What about you?
I agree with you. And Moicano, think about it. He has a win over Calvin Kattar. This guy has beat some of the best in the world, Calvin Kattar, Cub Swanson. And his losses have come against some of the best in the division at 145 pounds. We're talking about Jose Aldo and Chun Sung Jung, Korean Zombie. And that his win against Damir Handanovic, was Damir Handanovic. You know, that he submitted him early on. But, you know, his losses have come against Korean Zombie and Jose Aldo. Them two, you know, there's no shame in them losses at the moment. But Rafael Fizz, he looks so good in his last fight against Mark DeCasey. His Muay Thai, he's a Muay Thai practitioner and trainer at I think it's Thailand Tiger Muay Thai. That's it. The Muay Thai coach over there. He's training Valentina Shevchenko to be better at Muay Thai. It's ridiculous. Like Valentina Shevchenko needs to be trained to get better at Muay Thai anyway. She's absolutely disgracefully good on the feet. She's so incredible. And he's training her to get better. And Fiziev, he's so good on the feet. His Muay Thai is absolutely crazy. You've seen it in his last fight against Mark DeCasey. Them kicks, the way he went into like a Matrix mode. I'm not too sure if you saw it. He literally bent all the way back. It was ridiculous. I think he should be a favorite, but I think Moicano, you know, if you're going to go for a dog in any of the card, I do think Moicano could get a win in this fight. You know, he's beat Calvin Kattar, beat Cub Swanson. You know, he looked good in his last fight, and it wouldn't shock me if he gets the submission win again.
Yeah, man, there you go right there. I mean, that's going to be one of the fights of the night. Moving on down the card, co-main event time. 2 more fights to go. Going to be definitely fight of the night right now. The bad man is back. El Kukui, Tony Ferguson is back. 25 wins, 4 losses. Coming off a loss versus Justin Gaethje. We all know how that went. He verbally tapped out in the ring. He's facing Charles the Bronx Oliveira. 29 wins, 8 losses. He's on like a 6-fight winning streak, I want to say. So my spill on it. Tony opened up minus 175 favorite. Money coming back on the underdog, Charles the Bronx at plus 145. You got to go with Tony here, man. When it comes all down to it, Charles the Bronx never fought anybody like Tony. When he has, he's lost. All his wins Charles the Bronx has, it's not over anybody worthy like Tony Ferguson. His win over Lee last time, Lee was winning that fight and went for a stupid-ass submission and guys ass submitted. Dumbass fight IQ. That's on Lee. Tony Ferguson, on the other hand, we all know what he's done. We all know what he's going to do for the wars. I'm not worried about Charles Oliveira bringing a war to fucking Tony Ferguson for 15 minutes at all. No, not at all. Yes, Charles Oliveira could maybe win one round. Besides that, give me Tony Ferguson here all day on here, man. I got to play on him right here, feeling solid on it. I say he's at a minus 175. I say by the time the fight starts, he'll be at a minus 210. So give me Tony Ferguson right here. Yeah, that's it, man. Who you got?
Oh, someone just putting chat on Hinge going, Charles, I can feel it. Nah, I'll go to Tony. I think Tony wins this any way possible. Even on his back, Tony is one of the most underrated people in the UFC off his back. He's incredible. He will throw up them triangles, throw up them arm bars. He's so good on his back. But I just feel like on the feet, if you're bringing a war to Tony Ferguson, you're putting yourself in hell. You're putting yourself in a losing position already. And I see Tony Ferguson taking this fight any way he wants. Most likely he's on the ground. If you go to the ground with Charles Oliveira, oh man, you're putting yourself in a bad position.
Yeah, I mean he's no fool though. I mean snap suey, you know Tony over there with the snap suey and stuff, tiramisu and stuff. He's been waiting, for this. So yeah, when it comes down to it though, I mean, yeah, it's just plain and simple, man. The Bronx is good and everything, I like him and everything, but there's no way against Tony, man. Tony's the dog on here, man. Let's see what stand-up monster has to say. Oh, shout out, man. Other half of MMA Locker Room. Tony wins any way he wants. Charles is fantastic, but he is a lesser version of Tony. For real. Tony does everything better. Hey, facts. All right, so yes. Well said, my man. Well said, man. All right, so yeah, exactly. Tony Ferguson, A. Charles the Bronx, C+ of what Tony Ferguson is, but only a C+ the way that he fights and everything, a C+ version of him. But the resume, nowhere near the fighters that he has in the win. So yeah, definitely looking for Tony to get it done. Let's see. Oh, okay. Boston Nick, go with the play right now that he just did. Breaking news. Boston Nick just did it. Jumped on Tony. Got him at 155. Ooh. Okay. So that means I might even sit back a little bit then if money's coming in, because I already got to play on him at minus 175. But to double up, I might be able to get him at 140. That'd be a steal. Yeah, man. So I'm going with Tony. It's going to be a good fight on there, but definitely look for him to get it done. One more fight to go. All right, man. Moving on down the card. All right, seems like we just seen both these guys on there. Matter of fact, it's because we did, and they both fought on the same card. Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. This is coming down, taking place for the championship belt flyweight. 20 wins, 1 loss. Deiveson Figueiredo comes in. Last time we just seen him look real impressive. Shit, I even forgot who it was that he just beat up, man. Who was it? Oh, Alex Perez. God damn, man. Got that dude rid of in the first round, man. The fight didn't even start in 3 minutes and shit. Yeah, and so looked real good in there. Beat Joy B up 2 times, made him look real bad. Shout out to the icon in the thumbnail, man, for giving us that little image out there, Deiveson. Hey, for everybody out there in the chat, man, please hit that like and subscribe button right now, man. We're going over the main fight on the main card. I know, we didn't go over that before, but please hit that like and subscribe button right now. On the other corner, you got the babyface assassin, the assassin baby Brandon Moreno, 18 wins and 5 losses. Underdog coming in plus 265 on there. Looked real good in his last fight against Brandon Royval. This is going to be a good fight. Championship worthy. I definitely say yes. And it's happening at the right time in the right place. Brandon Moreno, we all know the story about him. Got to the UFC, got cut, went to the LFA, and won the belt, I want to say, and then came back to the UFC, if my mind corrects me right. Ever since he returned back to the UFC, he's been on a run. Whole different tear right now. He deserves to be where he's at right now. But Deiveson Figueiredo, minus 330. That's where he's at right now. Opened up at a minus 300. Only thing you can do with that is parlay it. Or else you can do what I'm going to do and take Deiveson Figueiredo wins inside the distance right here. I definitely think he's just explosive. He's dangerous. And just kind of like how we said on the last fight, A version and a C plus version. Deiveson Figueiredo is the A plus version. Brandon Moreno is the C minus version of Deiveson Figueiredo. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Fig on this one. Take it away, Lenny.
I agree. I think Figueiredo is going to take this fight anywhere he wants. I think on the way he's going to have the most success, I believe, is on the feet. In the Brandon Moreno, in the last fight against Brandon Royval, I think there was a lot of controversy in how he won that fight, and a lot of people said discrediting him. But I think he won that fair and square, in my opinion. I think it was unfortunately the shoulder did pop out, but I think that ground and pound was the one what kind of stopped it. I feel like if he didn't land that ground and pound, the fight would have continued. It would have ended the round, and they would have continued fighting. He might have popped it back in and still fought. But I feel that ground and pound stopped it. It gave the reason the ref to stop it, and I think he won that fair and square. But in this fight, we talk about fair and square. Deiveson Figueiredo is going to go into this fight in absolute. I think he's going to put on a clinic against Brandon Moreno, like he's done recently. Put on a clinic twice against Benavidez and then against Alex Perez. He put on an absolute performance, and we're going to see him put on absolutely another performance against Brandon Moreno, and we're going to see him retain the belt at the last pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah. So definitely. I mean, I think it's a good look for the division right here. I will say this: Triple C Henry Cejudo did save this division right here. So I mean, I'm glad that he did because Deiveson Figueiredo, he's a fucking gangster, man. He's a killer when it comes down to it, man. He'll cook you some sushi. He'll do your hair. Then he'll choke your ass out at the same time right now, man. That's one hell of a guy. I know you don't know this, mate, but that's what you call like a MacGyver type, man. He could do it all. You give him a knife, he's going to turn that fork. I mean, my bad. You give him a fork, he's going to turn that fork into like a razor blade, a airplane scalpel, all type of shit, man. He's just that talented, man. Yeah, so that's really how we see this taking place right here. Anything can happen. Real quick, Fig did lose to Formiga, right?
Formiga, yeah. He got cut by
the
UFC there.
Yeah, that was just I'm not too impressed with that. I'm not gonna spend too much stock into that. So real quick, give them your two most confident fights on the main event.
On the main card?
Yep.
It would probably be Tony Ferguson. I think he beats Charles Oliveira, and most likely Kevin Holland. I believe he beats Souza.
Okay, so if you put those two together right there, that's a parlay of a plus 160 on the books right there. So if you guys want to go with those right there, that's a parlay of plus 160. That's the MMA Unhinged parlay on the main card. I'll go with Holland. And then I'm going to go with – all right, I'm going to just go ahead and let me see. Yeah, no, I'm going to double up, man. I like yours too. I'm going to go with Holland and Tony Ferguson, man. Fuck it. That's the second South parlay right there. You heard it right here. And let me get the correct numbers out there for you guys. I'm sorry. I threw those numbers out there. Actually, if you put those two together, that's a parlay of plus 260 right there. So go ahead and do that right there. Tony Ferguson and Kevin Holland, the second South parlay. And once you get paid, you thank me later. All right. So, yeah, that's it right there. That's the UFC 256 card right there. Real quick, we're going to give you some of the picks on Bellator. I'm not going to spend too much time on there. It's only about 3 fights that you guys should be aware of. Besides that, there's a lot of cans on there. One fight, though, I want to spend a little bit of attention on. It's the main event. It's going to be Lima Lay Macfarlane versus Juliana Velasquez. This one's going to be a banger. Lima Lay Macfarlane coming in undefeated, 11 wins, 0 losses. Juliana Velasquez, same thing on her side, 10 wins, no losses. But she opens up the favorite, minus 170. Lima Macfarlane is the underdog at plus 135. How do you see that taking place?
This is a really good fight between two undefeated fighters. Lima Macfarlane, she's 11-0, and we got Velasquez, she's 10-0. This is a really good fight. She last fought She was meant to fight Alima Macfarlane in her last fight at Bellator 236, but they cancelled that because they wanted it to be in Hawaii. But then Alima Macfarlane, it kind of came out that she didn't want the fight against Velasquez in Hawaii because she didn't want the pressure of losing her fight. And she felt competition, and the fight didn't really come. It was meant to be in Hawaii, but COVID and that, they kept it Mohegan Sun, and it's a really good fight. I see Lima Macfarlane defending her belt, though. I think she stays undefeated and she improves to 12-0. If I'm going to pick how it ends, I'm going to, as yet again, I don't really like to bet on finishes in the women fight. I think it goes decision. I think Lima Macfarlane takes this fight.
I'm with you on the Macfarlane, Lenny, but look, how do you feel about this? A lot of people out there got Velasquez on the other hand. They're saying that she's going to dog her.
Is that really?
Yes.
Oh man,
yes.
But as you said, she's a slight favorite according to Tapology as well. This is an interesting fight. She's 34 years old. She's got that reach advantage as well. She's a high advantage. I can see what people are talking about. She looks good in her last fight as well against Brunio Ellen. And this is a good fight. As I said, no 10-0 versus 11-0. Someone's always got to go, and that's going to happen.
And when it's all got to go.
Unless we get a draw.
And then one other fight that you guys might want to pay attention to, your boy out here, Linton Fischel, stepping back in the ring for Bellator. Lenny, he's taking on Ronnie Marquez right here. This is another familiar face you guys might know on the card right here, but he's opening up at a -340 favorite on there, fighting out of the UK. Money's on the underdog on Marquez at +280 on there. I definitely think Linton Fischel should be able to get this job done right here. What about you?
Oh, 100%. Linton Fischel fighting out of the UK, to be precise, fighting out of my home city as well. Me and him have got a really close relationship. We talk a lot. We bond. We have a good bond. You know, we set up we're going to set up a meeting when he comes back to the UK. We're going to meet, talk about the fights and etc. But I think Linton Fischel is going to take this fight. He's a massive dude as well. Once upon a time, this dude used to make up 205. Ridiculous. If you look at his size and his frame, he made 205 pounds. It's ridiculous. And Linton Fischel, in his last fight, he TKO'd Sergey Karatonov. And Sergey Karatonov was meant to be the #1 contender for the Ryan Bader fight. And he finished him. So he puts him in a really good position. And I think Ronnie Marquez, I feel like he won't be able to match Linton Fischel's. Ronnie Marquez is really good on the ground. And Linton Fischel, as they said, he's not scared to go on the ground. And I feel like Linton Fischel will keep it up on the feet, outpiece him. And we'll see him take this win. And he will improve to two wins back-to-back. And hopefully we'll see him get a title shot. He said next he wants Valentin Moldovsky or maybe Timothy Johnson. That's the fight he wanted next. And hopefully we see him get the win this Thursday and prove 2 back-to-back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I mean, there we go right there. That's our opinion right here on all the Bellator little events, that's coming out this week. Tune in tomorrow for the live stream on here on Pub Sports Radio. We did our recap on the UFC 256 card. We went over all the fight news and everything that was coming out this week, all the cuts and everything. Everybody switching promotions. We went over all the new fights that got announced and got updated too. All the ones that we thought that were going to be exciting. So, we just want to give a special shout out to everybody that stayed in the whole chat and rocked with us this whole hour and 30 minutes out there in the chat. All 33 viewers out there in the live chat. So, Lenny, real quick, run through some of the names in the chat.
Good, Neil, the security, been here from the start. Thank you so much. Benjamin Martin just came in, just tapped in. Thank you very much. We've got a Jock UL111. Thank you for tuning in. We've got Danny Lopez as well tuning in for the best show. Seconds out on MMA on YouTube. We also got your man there, Stand Up Monster / MMALockerRoom, the other part of MMALockerRoom. We got Billy Brisbane. He came in. We locked in. Thank you very much for joining the best show on MMA. Seconds out. Nowhere else to go but here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, until now, just to give you guys definitely you guys want to check out that interview with Sabina Mazo on Pub Sports Radio. We weren't able to bring it to you guys on a Wednesday show. I had to do it solo because of some technical difficulties. So we put it out last Friday on Pub Sports Radio. But go ahead and check that out. And you might want to stay in tune because we will be dropping an exclusive interview next week too. We already got confirmation for our next week's guest. So I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you guys right now, because a lot of times I usually don't tell you guys, but since all 27 of the viewers stayed with us, for the whole time, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you guys who it is. All right. So next week on Seconds Out, exclusive, we're gonna have. So, okay, he will be here, okay? One more time, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have... Okay, so, yeah, definitely, all right? Definitely want to tune in, Nah, I got him again, man. You got to wait and see who it is. You got to wait and see who it is. But, yeah, so, Lenny, real quick, man, where can they catch you at, man, when you're not on Pub Sports Radio?
MMAUnhinged 01 on Instagram and MMAUnhinged on Twitter. And on YouTube, I just dropped a new interview with Modestas Bukalkas. We talked about his last fight, when he can return. And once upon a time, he was on a celebrity dating show. We talked about that and the experience, what it was like. He's a really good guy, down to earth, one of the biggest prospects that we've got coming out of the UK. Unfortunately, he fell in the hands of Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute is an absolute beast. And we talked about that, what he learned from that fight, and how we can see him moving on. That's on my YouTube, MMAUnhinged. So, yeah, MMAUnhinged on Twitter, MMAUnhinged on YouTube, MMAUnhinged 01 on Instagram. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. And everybody out there, too, hey, check out Big Show Picks, man. He has this competition going on Twitch, the UFC fighting competition. And you're looking at the champ right here. I put it on Boston Nick, man. So you're looking at the champion right now, MMA Locker Room, man. So definitely be on the lookout for that, man. The UFC.
I didn't catch the last one. Did I win?
I don't know. I just got the update. I beat Diego Sanchez, so I got like a shot for the belt because I beat a UFC fighter. So yeah, shout out to Big Show Picks on Twitch though, man. So yeah, man, watch out for the link though, man. So yeah, that's how it is going on. Oh, Boston Nick got lucky. Yeah, I took your belt, huh? Took your belt. You didn't like that, huh? But yeah, man, that's how it goes right now. For myself, you got MMA Locker Room right here. I want to give a special shout out to everybody out there. It wouldn't be able without them. That's Slaughter, that's Preston, that's Boston Nick, that's Money Mo, that's everybody behind the scenes at Pub Sports Radio. Want to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat club as well, and everybody, all the cast and the crew. Until then and now, Seconds Out. Don't worry about the other MMA shows. We're the best out. Peace.
Good show.